I've been waiting for my new toy for a while now, and it's arrived in the mail. I'm a little excited, just like a Christmas Eve, waiting for Christmas to come. So this is the new DJI Pocket 3 that just came out on the 28th of October. No, sorry, 25th of October. And I ordered it on the 25th, I got it on the 28th, 3 days later. And DJI was so kind enough to even send me an extra SD card. I paid for this myself, so this, well, it's not technically not a review, but I'll be taking it out for a spin on my first urban sketching today. I'm shooting this footage on the DJI Osmo Pocket 2, which is the precursor. The new version looks amazing. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun, and the image quality from what I've read and seen on YouTube are amazing. Some of you may know I'm a big DJI fan. I have Pocket 1, 2, 3. I have the Osmo Action as well as a bunch of other drones, DJI drones and so on. I swear by DJI, the quality of the build, and you know, it lasts. I abused it, throw it around in my bag as I go around sketching everywhere, travel with it. It's just amazing. This unit though is a little bit hefty, but we'll see. I mean, this video is not so much about DJI Pocket 3. It's going to be about urban sketching today with the weekend sketches somewhere on Hill Street in Singapore, Chinese Chamber of Commerce, the building. But anyway, I might as well do, you know, as a test run with my new camera, right? So yeah, let's go. So before I go out, I'll just show you my gear. This is my Ulanzi MT16, my trusty small tripod. That's the Pocket 3 with the extension, which comes with a battery as well as the holder to stick into the tripod. It comes with a various accessories as well, as you can see. This is not a review of Pocket 3 per se, but you know, as it's my new gear, I'm just gonna use it as a test run. And you know, for those of you who are doing urban sketching or sketching and want to film yourself, it's an excellent tool because it's small and compact. So I'm out with the weekend sketches. We are sketching somewhere on Hill Street, right across the Chinese Chamber of Commerce building, which has just been refurbished. I've sketched this many times, especially the lions right in front. We're gonna do it again today because I came very late. They started at 9 in the morning. I came at about 11:30. The throwdown or the show and tell was about 12, and you know, I was just going around saying hi and taking footages. As you can see, wonderful to see people out and about doing. Of course, I was trying out my new toy, Pocket 3, and you know, I'm getting great footages. They look really nice because of the 1-inch sensor. The camera consists of really high-tech stuff, you know, baked into it. The software looks good. The buttons are easy to navigate, and the flipped, you know, in terms of the screen is much bigger than my Pocket 2. Really loving my new toy, and you know, I was interacting with a lot of the sketches, and it's wonderful to be out and about today. This is the building that we are sketching, or for most of us, I'm more interested in lion right in front of the gate. That's Richard's work.
Hey!
You know, I think it's a lot more fun. Being late, I can't do a lot and I can do very big. I'm just gonna zoom right in to do the lion. I'll put the link to the photograph in the description below so that you can also sketch along and treat it like a tutorial if you like, and have fun with it. Before I show you my sketching though, I want to show you what DJI Light Cut app has done with the footages I took, and it made it very easily into a beautiful video to be shared. Okay, now back to the drawing. So what I did was on site, with with the statue in front of me, and I was really uncomfortable because I had my stool perched up, and I had my sketchbook on the floor, and I really couldn't sketch. It was hot. I knew that I only had about 20 minutes because I was really late, so I kind of decided, all right, I'm gonna mess up the sketching. I'm gonna go with, as far as I can, beautiful wash, and then I'm gonna try to repair it at home. Let's see whether my strategy worked today. It's, usually when you're on site, you are dealing with the hot weather, the rain or water, or all kinds of problems. Winter, you may have cold and snow and whatnot, or sleet, which is even worse. But in my case here, it's just really hot and I was really melting. But yet I wanted to participate. I want to, make sure that I have some homework that I could throw down when we are doing the show and tell. And I knew the work's not going to be okay, but I have some skills in fixing my watercolor if it goes wrong. So let's see. I'm gonna try that, and even my drawing is off, as you can see. I'm gonna put my drawing in real time, and I'm gonna put background music because I didn't want to speed it up, so you could see that the speed at what I was drawing. Alright, so now that I'm finished with the drawing, I'm gonna spritzer some water into my quite dry palette, and I'm gonna go with a very dark background, basically doing a negative shape of the background with permanent alizarin crimson mixed with French ultramarine, making it a very nice luscious purple, if you like. So once I'm done with the purplish, blue and red background, very dark, because permanent alizarin crimson and French ultramarine are two of my darkest colors. I'm gonna drop in cadmiums, cadmium yellow and cadmium orange. They give it a very luscious sparkle, if you like. That's one of my favorite way of using cadmium. They are opaque, and the Daniel Smith cadmiums, they are replaced. They are no longer, the toxic cadmium, so which is pretty good. I feel that Daniel Smith has a good balance between original pigment and new, maybe not improved, but at least it's not toxic pigment. And I think as a manufacturer, they are very, very responsible, which is really, really good. So at this point, the sketch seems to have worked somewhat, although the shape of the lion is way off, and it doesn't really matter. I think it's just going to be, it looks somewhat like a stone lion, if you like. I will live with it, I suppose. For the stone lion, I'm gonna use quinacridone gold, a bit of lemon yellow, a little bit of new gamboge, and with my palette still holding a little bit of the mix of the purple, I would throw that in to neutralize my yellow, if you like, because all the colors I mentioned, quinacridone gold, lemon yellow, and new gamboge are somewhat yellow, orangey sort of color. And purple is sort of its complement, if you like, and by adding that, it will just neutralize the yellow or the orange, if you like. I'm thinking in value at the moment. I'm looking at the darkest shape, the mouth of the lion, and also some of the shadowed part of the lion, and I'm just reading. I read it pretty badly, I would say. As you can see that the way I've gone about it, it was not very impressive. Lots of error. You can imagine I'm perched down, sitting on a high, somewhat of a chair, and then the sketchbook is on the floor, and I'm really, really uncomfortable. The heat is getting to me. The sun is hitting me because as time progresses, it was getting towards noon, and the sun was creeping onto my head, and I was getting a bit hot and uncomfortable. Well, that's the problem with urban sketching. You have to fight the elements. But nevertheless, I hope that I have read the dark spots accurately, somewhat, if you like. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna dilute down, go with a basically a bit of a yellowish, lighter mix, and then try to get them medium toned, if you like. Oh, by the way, the dark consists of my original two colors plus a bit of phthalo green. Phthalo green plus permanent alizarin crimson, red, and French ultramarine, blue, will make it a very, very dark color, especially phthalo green, because it's staining, and that gives it a really, really dark color. So I progressed to put in a bit of the medium tone, the mid tone, if you like, and that combination of all the colors I can find on my palette, as I said, but a lot of the lemon yellow and a lot of the queen golds coming through. I think of the stone statue as being yellow. At this point, I knew I was in deep trouble. The sketch is not going the way I wanted it. I had no precision with my brush. I did not hit the sweet spot. But you know what? I got quite a few things right. I got the background right. I got a lot of the dark spots right. I probably got the yellow and the mixture somewhat in the right place. And on site, I ran out of time. It was almost 12, and we all had to go and do our sharing and all the rest of it, and what we call throw down. We put all the sketches on the floor, and then we share and then have a chat before we dismiss and disappear for the rest of the day. But you know, as you can see, I was still trying to salvage it, trying to put in a bit more color. You know, if your sketch is not going well, don't fret. There are various ways to fix it. Even if you don't fix it, go home and do another one. I mean, what's wrong with it's just a sketch, right? Don't you know, let it stress too much. After all, art should be fun. It shouldn't be and be relaxing. It shouldn't be stressful. Yeah, this does not work, right? Anyway, so I kind of stop at this point, and let's go to the sharing. Right. 好啊 OK 啊 What a turnout. Lovely. So when I got home, I got out my Copic opaque white and my Blink black, which is supposed to be very, very dark, and a very small brush, and I'm gonna try to salvage it. Edgar Whitney used to say, the most beautiful watercolors are virgin washes decorated with calligraphy. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with the black ink calligraphy, drawing lines over my virgin washes. Well, it's as you know, untouched as I could in that sense. Basically what it means is that, you know, you don't really use your brush too much on paper. With minimum fuss, you lay down the color with lots of water, wet on wet. You know, that's kind of like the base, and then on top of it you lay your calligraphy or lines, and hopefully that will look decent. Well, at least from a salvaging perspective, that's what I intend to get out of this sketch. If I can salvage it, well, you be the judge later. I hope you know, I could somehow salvage it. So as you can see, I'm using black to sort of give it a bit more define of the edges. Where the watercolor was all messed up, I could at least draw with my fine liner and using very dark ink to go over it. I suppose you can use ink as well, no harm. Fountain pen works. Anything basically that gives you a thin line or good quality lines if you like, that give you some semblance of the outline. It will become a little bit more illustrative, but it's okay. It's sort of a sketch that I'm trying to salvage anyway, so there's no problem with that. Okay, I'm gonna put some music and you can enjoy the rest of the doodling. In the process of making this video, I did lose some footage, namely a bunch of the whites I lay down after I have laid down the dark lines. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. What's important is that, you know, I use black and white to overlay my virgin washes, in quote. And you know, it basically trying to give it a bit more definition, a bit more lines, a little bit more you know, shape separations, if you like, and also direction. You know, if you use lines for those little things, your eyes will begin to see three-dimensional form, and the underlying washes will come out as part of the form structure, if you like. And in some way, that's sort of the you know, the fixes of the sketch, and that's my intention anyway, to get a little bit more out of the damaged, in quote, sketch. Looks okay at this point because it does look more like a lion statue, and yeah, like I said, you know, I put in the date and I put in my name and a bunch of the whites that I've laid down. You would have missed it, but anyway, let me just touch up a little bit more as well with white, namely to separate the shapes. That helps quite a bit. So I hope that you will also not fret in the future when you have you know, a botched sketch, if you like. You know, take it home, take a look at it, take your time, evaluate it, and maybe you could think of one way or others to sort of fix it, in quote. Well, you know, in art, there's really no right and wrong. It's really about the process, and it's about learning. It's about a journey of progressing and growing as an individual, as an artist, as a sketcher. It doesn't really matter. So, you know, with that, I hope you learned something from this sketch. I was very happy with my new camera, the DJI Pocket 3. Love it. I think you're gonna see more, you know, videos from this camera. I will still be using my Pocket 2 as a spare. I'll probably use it as a, you know, backup. Maybe even doing 2-camera shooting and things like that. But anyway, the technology doesn't really matter as much as the sketch and the artwork itself. So with that, I hope you will stay safe and have a great day wherever you are. And yeah, till the next one. Bye. Oh, and here's the comparison of the two sketched before and after, side by side. Let me know what you think in the description below. Alright, bye.